Hi folks, it's Andy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. A very quick and informal video that I've got for you today to basically react to and review perhaps the Kendo mask, this plastic thing. Lots of people have been asking me about it. I've talked about it quite a bit before, either on the channel here or on like live streams and stuff like that, about what my thoughts are in regards to its obviously like efficacy. That's one thing I've talked about. Basically, since I've talked about it a lot, I know the All Japan Kendo Federation have come out with some guidelines for returning to practice in Japan, which do sort of include this in conjunction with a plastic shield that covers the eyes as well. So that's why I'm taking another look at it, because like I say, lots of people are asking me about it. I'm going to say right off the bat though, I don't think that these are massively helpful in combating the spread of viruses, okay, particularly things like COVID-19 that are affecting obviously the global Kendo community right now. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, nothing like that, but I've yet to see any evidence provided that these actually do help prevent the spread of it at all. Okay, so do not buy this to specifically stop the spread of coronavirus or COVID-19, because I do not think they are certainly not on their own effective for doing that. Now, having said that, the All Japan Kendo Federation's guidelines, now they're only applicable to Japan, by the way, but they feature something like this in conjunction with what they call a men mask, which is a tenugui that's been fashioned to be able to be worn around the face, something like this. Okay, so you wear this as well as using one of these, and I think some of the clarification came out is that the tenugui is to stop the spit particles coming out, and these sort of plastic shields are to stop them coming in. I'm not sure how this stops it coming in because it only protects this part, but I guess if you use it in conjunction with a plastic shield over your eyes as well, that does help. Now, my concern with using this in conjunction with a plastic shield is that from what I've seen, they fog up very quickly. I know there's some anti-fog stuff you can get. I'm not sure how effective that is really going to be in practice. But I'm just talking about this for now, because the one benefit I can see to this, all right, there is one benefit I can see to this, and that is nothing really to do, or not so much really to do with virus spreading, but from a hygiene point of view, it's quite a nice idea. Obviously, it's just shouting, especially in Tsubazeri Eye, when you're close to people, you know, your spit's going to be flying about, and it's not super hygienic. So yeah, it's quite a nice idea from that point of view, if nothing else, is my sort of stance on it at the moment. So what we'll talk about is how you fit it to the men. I'll put it in and I'll put the men on and see how it feels with it on, and if I feel like it's going to get in the way. Now, the other concern I've got with this as well is how easy it will be to dislodge it whilst it goes on the inside of the men whilst you're wearing it. But I am a little bit concerned that if it was to break or to become dislodged during practice, it could be very dangerous, as this is on the inside. I don't want this sticking in my eye. So that's something else that I'm a little bit concerned about. So before we really jump into it, the thing to bear in mind is, yes, I'm a little bit skeptical, a little bit reluctant on products like this, because I do not want to promote any sort of false sense of security that this might help protect you against coronavirus or protect others for that matter. It may not. I have yet to see convincing evidence that it does. So I want to make that extremely clear right before anybody invests in something like this. So when you get it out of the packet, it comes with, you can see how it's like got this sort of blue color. That's a protective film that's on it. All right, so let's get that off straight away. There's one on both sides. All right, so there's a protective film on both sides. So it's perfectly clear like that. It is very very transparent, so I don't think it's going to affect vision so much. It's just thin plastic. It's quite flexible. I'm not sure it wouldn't break. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let me grab my men. So I've got my Vanguard Praetor men here, and the instructions that come with it are in Japanese, but basically the instructions are very, very straightforward. You insert it. You can see on the shape of it, it's got this sort of I don't know if you can see, there's like a little notch there. I should have shown you that before I took the thing off. But you can see that little notch, all right, that little indent there. That goes between the 5th and 6th bars from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it goes there in between the 5th and 6th bars, according to the instructions. So let's insert. It's very easy to put in by the looks of it. Let me count them up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes in that one there. So I will make sure that it slots in there. It's in there now. All right, so it's in like that. I know my humor all over the place. Right, but it's in there, and it doesn't. You can see. You can't actually see really that it's in. Yeah, it's not too disturbing. I get that. All right, I can see that. That's all very well and good. So it doesn't. I mean, I can see it if I look in. I don't know if you can see in there, but you can just about see it. But it's. I guess it's not too disruptive. Right, let's pop this on and see what it's like. Okay, so I've got it on there. Right away, it's not interfering with my vision at all. All right, I can't even tell it's there. To be fair, I can't tell it's there. I can see it reflecting in the screen of the camera though, so it obviously does reflect. But it's not in front of my eyes, so I am concerned that if I had the one with the that covers your eyes as well, that reflections might be an issue. It does fog up. I don't know if you can see that, and that's just with normal breathing. So I'm sure with sort of intense practice, that could that will fog up quite a lot. But it's quite close to my face, so I don't think it would in sort of affect my vision, even if I'm not tying them in properly because it's just for the sake of this. I don't think it would affect my vision even if it fogged up. However, I'm sure that if I put that one in my across my eyes as well, I'm sure that's going to fog up real quick, and then that's going to be an issue. Okay, so look, it doesn't affect me at all. I could happily put that in my men go to practice, and it wouldn't be a problem. I can already see, actually, it's a bit gross thinking about it. There's little drops of saliva on it, and I haven't even been screaming. I've just been breathing. So it's I can see that from a sort of hygiene point of view, it's certainly quite a nice idea. Like I say, though, I am a little bit concerned about safety. But having said that, I can't imagine, because the where it sits is inside the mengane. It's inside the mengane. I cannot see that breaking, and I can't really see it becoming dislodged either. Oh, hang on. It just did become dislodged there when I pushed it on a specific point, but it didn't come enough dislodged. I wonder if it came dislodged. Now I'm going over the top here, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that would happen in an actual practice. How likely it is for that to become dislodged. Well, it's possible. It's possible. You see how it's sort of become dislodged in there now. I know you can't really see here, but it's probably unlikely because of the shape of it that it would. My concern is it not just becoming dislodged like that and staying sort of in this area. That's not the end of the world. Though, having said that, if it became dislodged like that, it would probably hit my nose because I've got quite a big nose. But I can't necessarily see it causing massive injuries to my face. So I think that's probably safe enough to use by the looks of it. Can't see that being a problem. I don't necessarily. I mean, without using it in actual practice, it doesn't really impede my breathing that much. Though if I was using it in conjunction with the tenigiri over my face, probably that would become much more restrictive. I'd have to try it in actual keiko, but obviously I can't do that at the moment because we're not allowed to. But yeah, it's not a bad little item, to be honest. Like I said, it's not too hard to take out either, which you'd be better off doing after every practice. Take it out and give it a clean. And yeah, probably with like some rubbing alcohol or something would be a good idea just to sterilize it. But look, here's my final verdict on it. I think it's not a bad little item. I might give it a try when we're back at practice again. Unless of course if they're compulsory, then of course I'll use it. I don't mind using it. It won't affect my practice, to be honest. So yeah, in terms of, like I say, its efficacy for fighting things like coronavirus, I cannot see that. To be honest, I cannot see that. There's too much of a gap between your mouth, and I can't see it catching all the spit either, to be honest. I'm sure lots of it flies out here. All right. And I know, like I say, there's the All Japan Kendo Federation's guidelines are to use a 10-degree over your face like this as well to minimize that, which I'm sure this cuts it. I think they said about the actual spit droplets coming out, putting this on and doing Kegel reduces the amount of spit that comes out by 90%, and adding this adds another 5% to that. So it's not a massive reduction, yeah. But like I said, this is supposed to be used. You can use it in conjunction with one of those ones for your eyes to reduce the incoming droplets, I guess. Like I say, I don't want to endorse this as something that's effective for fighting viruses or stopping any sort of infection. What I will say though is if it's something that becomes compulsory in your area for resuming practice, then I don't think this will be a massive problem for returning to practice. I don't think it will get in the way of your normal practice that much. And like I say, potentially from a hygiene point of view, it does seem to catch some flying spit. Now, like I say, I'm going to keep stressing this. I don't think that that's enough to say that it catches the virus or any viruses. But, if it reduces the amount of spit you're spitting on the other person, then probably it's not bad from a point of view of hygiene. But you must make sure you take it out and clean it after your practices. So that's it. It's quite easy to install, quite easy to take out. We'll probably pop them up on KendoStar so that they're there if you want them. And yeah, that's my sort of thoughts on it for the time being. I'm not going to, in terms of the eye shield, right now, I'm not going to use it in conjunction with that because I don't like those eye shields in the first place. I can see there being an issue with reflections. I can see there are issues with it being with it fogging up. I know there's other ones that are like single piece ones as well that people have made or what have you. I don't think there's much difference between them and using this in conjunction with an eye shield. I think you're still going to have an issue with reflections and with it fogging up as well. I know there's like stuff you can spray on it, or even there's some plastic that's already treated not to fog up. I don't think that that's going to last for a long time. I also have heard that the one-piece ones are more difficult to remove from the men once they've been put in. And of course, it is important that you take these out and clean them. You don't want to leave it in there and just keep spitting on it, because that would be pretty gross. So for me, if I can get away with it, it depends on what regulations or guidelines come out. But if I can get away with it, I'll probably be happy to use just this, and potentially in conjunction with this sort of bandana mask, if that's something we have to do as well. But I'll probably avoid using the eye shield unless it's absolutely required of me. So that's it. Hope that helps. Let me know what you think.